When we first started this conference, I started it 7 years ago, and it was meant to be every other year. And after waiting an extra year to give it, we had such a demand that I decided, you know what, I think there's enough interest in pediatric sedation that we could do this every year. And since then, for the last 5 years, we've been doing it every year. Currently, today, just amongst you, we have 29 states represented, and we have 13 countries. We really have grown. When I first started, this was intended to just be a weekend conference, and now indeed we have the basics of sedation. We also offer now high-fidelity simulation. Yesterday we ran a full day of simulation, again with 5 Laerdal mannequins, and that was meant for multi-specialties. Warm thank you to all the faculty, because we could never put on a conference of this caliber without the faculty, so a big thank you to the faculty. Bonnie, despite having her right leg amputated at age 5, became the first African American ever to win the Olympic or Paralympic medals in ski racing, taking home a silver and 2 bronze medals in downhill events at the 1984 Paralympics in Austria. In recognition of this historic achievement, St. John was quoted on millions of Starbucks coffee cups and was honored at the White House by President George Bush. She has achieved the highest levels of success in a variety of endeavors throughout her life. In addition to her success as a Paralympic athlete, she is a best-selling author, a highly sought-after keynote speaker, a business owner, a single mother who graduated magna cum laude from Harvard University and won a Rhodes Scholarship to Oxford. Upon her return to the United States, she was appointed by President Clinton as a Director for Human Capital Issues on the White House National Economic Council. She donates a lot of her time. During the winter, she coaches disabled ski racers for the Adaptive Sports Foundation in New York. She once again represented the USA as a member of President Obama's official delegation to the Paralympic Winter Games. Bonnie has authored 6 books, including a recent bestseller, How Great Women Lead, which she wrote with her teenage daughter, Darcy. NBC Nightly News has called her one of the 5 most inspiring women in America.
An inspirational speaker, an Olympic medalist, and a single mom.
And a great woman.
Bonnie, we are so thrilled
to have you
I
here.
am so glad to be here with my ladies.
Love you here.
From the spotlight of national television to the Olympic ski slopes of Europe, from Wall Street to Washington, D.C., Bonnie St. John embodies the true essence of winning.
I don't worry so much about my handicap. I worry about getting in shape and practicing, because anybody can always get better.
I think that's so amazing. You know, would you turn to your one-legged black friend from the wrong side of the tracks and say, skier? It's so profound, the change that other people make in our lives. I think it's important to recognize there's so many wonderful things that we do that don't get a medal. There's no Austrian judge watching to give out medals, you know, and while I am very proud of what I accomplished, there's so many things that we accomplish that matter a great deal. So what do you deserve an Olympic medal for? Have you been thinking about that question? What would you award an Olympic medal for yourself? Your commitment to helping kids have a better life despite their medical treatments. You know, it may not feel like it's as dramatic as intubating a baby today, but you're still impacting lives. And the leadership you show in changing programs that influences the way hundreds of doctors work. How do we balance that? And so I think we have to look broadly at what we are most proud of doing in different ways. And when I think of Kira Mason, and here you are organizing all of these doctors and programs and internationally, and the seeds of what's planted here go back to other countries and change the way other doctors are working. How do you measure? How do you measure that? So I'm talking to the kids, and I talk about college and Olympics and all different adventures that I've had. But at the end of the speech, there was a woman all the way in the back sitting next to her son. And her son was badly burned and scarred all over. And she leaned forward, and English wasn't even her first language. She leaned forward and she said, "But will my son lead a normal life?" She just wanted one syllable from me in that moment, right? That's all I had to do, move on. But I couldn't do it. I froze up. Do you ever have an experience where like something just comes out of your mouth And you're like, where did that come from? So she says, will my son lead a normal life? And I freeze up, and then all of a sudden I just said, no, aim higher, aim higher. What I realized is so much of my life I was striving to be normal, that I thought if I could be like two-legged people, I could do anything. I remember I was kicking around a soccer ball in the backyard with my brother, and when I kick a soccer ball, I stand on my real foot and I kick with my artificial leg, because if I tried it the other way, my balance isn't so good, so it doesn't work as well, so I do that. So I'm kicking the ball around with my brother, and I'm very frustrated, and I finally say to him, look, I have this rubber foot, I just can't kick the ball straight, this is so frustrating. And he said, Bonnie, nobody can kick the ball straight. And I had no idea. I thought y'all with 2 feet could just, put that soccer ball anywhere you want. And that was such an illumination to me. And there were so many things like that where I realized that I thought two-legged people could do anything, and they were perfect. So I confused ordinary and perfect. So it took me years to learn that there's nothing special about ordinary. It sounds so obvious when you say it. There's nothing special about normal. So when she said, will my son lead a normal life? I said, aim higher, because you can forget normal and you can choose extraordinary. You can embrace whatever's different or unique or unusual about you and go on to find your greatness. I'm excited about this conference and being here because this is sort of the theme of what you're doing, is aim higher. This is a specialty area that doesn't get a lot of glamour and publicity, but you're here to aim higher, to not just accept things the way they are, but to make it a little bit better. So thank you for what you do on behalf of all the children who will never grow up and come back and speak at this conference and say, thank you for making my life better. Thank you for making it a little easier. Thank you for helping me grow.